Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to review these Freet Tundra boots that I've had for just over a year. I've got on pretty well with them, but stay tuned and I'll tell you a bit of the features and what I like and don't like about them. So keep watching, see you in a moment. Alrighty, let's get straight into it. This is the Freet Tundra. So I was first introduced to Freet by a couple of Bushcraft instructors that I met on a course. They were wearing the Muddies. Muddies are a similar boot to this, so they have a similar outline. The main difference being the tread. So on the Freet Tundra, it has quite a deep tread. Now at the time I was transitioning gradually to barefoot boots, but I was using them more often at work and casually. It was only about a year ago that I finally made the jump and decided I'd get myself a pair of barefoot boots. Now, I'm not going to go into why I chose barefoot boots. That's going to be a topic for another video. But the reason why these classify as barefoot boots, you have the very wide toe box, so room for your feet to spread beautifully, even if you have quite wide feet. They also have a massive amount of flexibility. They have a thin sole with zero drop from heel to toe. So your foot at this point will be the same height above the ground as your foot at this point. Additionally, you can also remove the insoles and get a very good feel of the ground. So in general with barefoot boots, you're not going to have the same sturdiness that you would expect from a pair of hiking boots. But this is all about building the fitness in your feet rather than using boots as a crutch. The upper on these boots is made out of what Freet call their microfiber. Now they say this is water resistant. I've been through deep puddles, all sorts, and I've never had a problem with water, with a single drop of water getting into these boots. They have been one of the best boots that I've ever worn for waterproofing, water resistant. But as it says on the label, it is not. By their classification, by the legal definition, waterproof, but it's pretty darn close. You have a reasonably high upper. It's not going to be as high again as a jungle boot or your big mountaineering boots. It classifies a bit closer to mid, so it has the two eyelets on the top. They allow you to cinch in it a little bit at the top, but that's just basically for weather resistance. As I mentioned before, the tread is pretty deep on these, so you do get a decent bit of grip on mud and soil. You can see I haven't tested this for a really long walk on shale or rock, but it's performed pretty well for what I've done so far. Now I have used this boot for the last year pretty much on a weekly, at some points daily basis. My work has ranged from bushcraft to conservation work, I've been hiking in them, I've been camping in them, I've done all sorts, run forest school sessions, and these have held up pretty well for a year. I mean, I'm in a profession that tends to kill boots. So there are some small signs of wet weather, rands coming away from the toe box, but other than that, they're pretty much exactly as I bought them. Now, in terms of things that I like about this boot, I really like how wide they are and how warm they are. Now, this surprised me. I'm someone who gets very cold feet very often. And I found when I switched to these boots, even though the lining or the outer isn't necessarily thicker, my feet ended up a lot warmer. My theory is that the blood flow in the circulation in my feet hasn't been cut off by tight boots. So more blood circulation means better warmth, means warmer toes to your feet. So yes, as a pro, definitely like the warmth in these. I have made one modification there. So the Freet Tundra ships with your standard insole, which you can take out. It's just a very basic foam insole. I've also added a pair of wool liners. This is just to add a little bit of more insulation. But yes, very warm. I will also say the ground feel isn't amazing, so you won't feel every single stone. But that means in general, if you're transitioning, this is a very comfortable boot. You won't be feeling every little stick and stone down the pathway, but you'll start to get the shape of the land and the tree roots and so on. Other things I liked about it, I mentioned the waterproofing, can't fault that. I also like how good this looks as a boot for casual use. Now, I could quite easily wear these with a pair of jeans, walk through a town centre, and no one would bat an eyelid. It's a pretty good looking boot. It's not going to turn as many faces as something like the Vibram Five Fingers or some of the more ridiculous looking barefoot shoes. So it's really good as a multi-purpose boot. Now, things I don't like about boots, they're few and far between. One of these is the laces. So I've actually replaced these laces on here. The laces that ship with the Freet tend to slide around a bit and they tend to come unknotted very easily. So if you don't want to be retying your shoelaces every half an hour, then I just buy standard pair of hiking laces, zip and pop them in, and you're all good. The other thing, which is totally minor thing, I actually went for the black. Now, I usually go for brown, but I felt like a change and I kind of regretted the choice. So it's not really something that I have against the boot, it's just personal choice. If you want to use it for bushcraft use, brown will give you a much better look and it will look less like a formal pair of shoes. All in all, this pair of boots has served me well for a very long time. And I'm sure I can get at least another year out of it, which is pretty good going for near daily use. And I'll let you know if anything changed. But until then, thanks for watching. Make it a great week. And I'll catch you in the next video.